Okay, guys, so we're back now, and let's get rid of this layer. Excuse me, I just made a new layer. Let's get rid of this text on the path layer, and I want to talk to you about area type now. I've already kind of shown you area type a little bit in regards to a text box, or also known as paragraph text in Adobe Illustrator. And I talked to you about it, and I showed you a few things about it, and ultimately I kind of said that we don't tend to use it a lot here, and that's true, we do not. Every now and though, we do have a group of text to go ahead and illustrate a group of words, multiple paragraphs or a paragraph at least to illustrate in Adobe Illustrator. And instead of just keeping it in kind of a rectangular box, we have the opportunity to put it in any shape we want. So I'm going to grab our shapes tool, and I'm going to make a few shapes. Okay. And I'm going to make them something like red, so then that way we see them well. So I'll make a circle. I'll make a star. I'll make that gold. And how about a pentagon? I'll make that blue. Cool. All right. So check it out. So what I can do with these shapes and the area type tool is this. I can click on this, and then I can roll over the shape, and I can click in the shape. And this is an example of area type in Adobe Illustrator. Now, it doesn't look very good, right? Because when I click off of it, the circle disappears, and it's just this kind of, this weird box that doesn't seem to fit text in it very well. And that's because the text is being forced to kind of wrap inside this shape, okay? This funky text wrap that's happening. Now, listen, this isn't going to look good because it's 30-point font, and it's in that shape. So if I bring this thing down to a little bit more normal, smaller font, then it can work out a little bit better. Now, I'm going to jump to the internet, and I'm going to show you this website. It's called Lipsum.com. Here it is right there. And what Lipsum is it's a website for Lorem Ipsum. And Lorem Ipsum is dummy text, or fill text, sometimes it's called. And it's Latin, and essentially what it is it's just gibberish. It's just Latin gibberish that we go ahead and we just drop in, when we're designing, when we're creating, just so we can have some sort of element on the page, so we can pick fonts and we can pick sizes, because sometimes, especially when we work in publishing, we don't know what the words are going to be because the words are being written. Okay, the designer is doing their job and the writer is doing their job, and not necessarily do you get the story and go, okay, now design it and make it look cool based on the story. Sometimes you just have to go ahead and think about what the design is going to be prior to the actual real story coming in. So that's why we use this stuff. So it's really simple. Towards the bottom of the page here, it asks me, how many paragraphs, words, bytes, or lists I want, and I just want paragraphs, and I'm just going to say, how about 2? And I'll generate Lorem Ipsum. And here it is, right? So check it out. I'm going to highlight all of this stuff. I got all my ads flying open, but I'm going to highlight all this. Okay, we're going to try this one more time. There we are. Highlight it all. I'm going to say edit and copy onto the clipboard. And I'm going to undo my style here, and I'm going to bring my thank God Illustrator has a million undos. Actually, it's unlimited undos. But here, I bring my circle back. And I'm going to grab my type tool. And I'm going to click in here. And I really shouldn't have 30-point Avenir type, so let's set it to 12. Okay? And watch, I'm going to say edit and paste. And really, that's the best way to go ahead and use this. And, oh no, check it out. Look what happened. What does that mean? That symbol right there. That little square with the red square with the red plus sign in it, that means that we do not have enough space to show our text. So there's more text hiding here. So I can do a few things. I can go ahead and I can make my circle bigger. And if I do that, the text will wrap inside of it. That's one thing I could do. I could also go ahead and I could click on that text right there. Let's try that one more time. Click on that. And then I can click one more time, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to create another circle. Now, why did it create a circle? Simply because that was a circle. So watch. If I go ahead and I select this and I do the same thing, but I paste it into a star, look, there's not enough space. I'm going to click here on this path. I'm going to go click, click, right on that plus sign. And oops, I did it a little too quick. So I'll click on it, and then I'm going to get this little symbol here. It's essentially just like, it looks like, like words on a page. And I'm going to click, and then it's going to give me another one, and it gives me another one in the shape of a star. And then I can go ahead and I can click and I can move that wherever I want. That's fine. There's nothing that says I can't do that. And then I can click on it again. And sometimes catching it, there it is. I caught it. Sometimes catching it's hard, and there it is. And then I can keep doing that, and it'll keep recreating these things over and over again. Now, that's kind of, hard to work with a little bit. So let's come back to that first one, and let's just increase its size. If you can do that, that's wonderful. In the beginning, it will take you some time to figure out how much words you need to accommodate the shape and how large the shape needs to be to accommodate the words. It does take time to figure that out. And now, once it's in the shape, I can select it, and it's cool right now. It looks like a Death Star to me. But anyway, I can select it, and I can change things. So I could change the style here from Roman to, how about oblique? Or change it to bold. How about that? Ooh, that doesn't really look appealing. Let's how about go back to medium? Yeah, that's a little bit better. I could even increase its size or decrease its size. I could play around with things like tracking. I could increase or decrease the leading. Okay, and again, the tracking is option left and right arrow, or on a PC it's alt, on a Mac option PC alt, and then leading is option or alt up or down on the arrow pad. So anyway, that's that. Now, same thing with type on a path is that it makes the shape underlying it disappear. This one is a little bit sometimes more necessary to have the shape there. We want the text to wrap inside of the shape, but we also want to see the shape. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually delete my pentagon. I'm never going to use it. I'm not going to use that after all. I'm going to make another circle. Okay? Now, this works best when you already have text created for you like this, or better yet, you have real text. So you have it in a Word file or something like that, or I don't know, some sort of text document. And if you select that and copy it, it's going to copy it to the clipboard. And there's only one clipboard, and it's only got room for one thing. So therefore, I can't then do that trick where I copy this. Because the thing is guys, we do not want to write a paragraph in Illustrator. It's not meant for that. It's meant for design. Microsoft Word, Notepad, text edit, things like that. Those are meant to write paragraphs. You can easily check spelling in them. Not that you can't do it in Adobe, but it's just easier in Word. Grammar and the whole nine. Okay? So anyway, I don't really want to type it all out here, and I can't copy the text and copy the circle. So really that's where we have to go ahead and instead of calling this line layer, I'm going to call it shape layer. And I'm going to just duplicate it. And again, to duplicate, I'm going to select this layer, and I'm going to drag it down to this icon, which is the new layer icon. So I just drag it right down on top of it, and voila, it duplicates it. There's also in the drop-down menu, I could say duplicate shape layer copy in that case, and that will create it. So now I'm not going to call it shape layer. I'm going to call it text layer, right? And I'll get rid of the shape layer. I'll just turn the eyeball off for a moment. And I'm going to click on my type on a path. or excuse me, my area type tool, and I'm going to click right inside of here, and I'm going to paste. Now, did you notice I clicked inside the shape and I didn't click on the outside of the shape? So if I clicked on the outside of the shape, it might get confused because it might think I want to do type on a path. So it's important that, there's the outside of the shape, there's the inside of the shape, that you are, keeping those things separate. Anyway, I'm going to increase this just a little bit, the text. I think that it could work out if I do that. A little too much. So maybe 12 and a half. And then I'm going to go ahead and just increase my tracking a little bit. Just trying to fill this a little bit more. Now, this is what it looks like filled up, and everything fits in there. I'm trying to increase the text size. If I go to 13, it overflows. If I put my tracking much more past 10, it overflows. So this is what I got, right? If I select this, there's all this empty part of the circle. Now, one of the reasons why it's doing this is because of the way that we are aligning the text. Right now, we have it left aligned. Your traditional alignment for, when we're just making just about anything. So I'm going to go and click on the paragraph palette here, and that can be found underneath Window and Type and Paragraph. And I'm going to center this. But let me select it first so it actually works. There, I'm going to center this. Now, centering text, when we did that, that starts to look more like a circle. It's not that the other one didn't look like a circle, but, since we have the regular edge here and an irregular one here. That's why I always joke and say it looks like a Death Star because, they're always building a Death Star here and there. But anyway, so when I select this and center it, it feels more circular. But can I go ahead now and can I increase it in type size? No, that doesn't make that fix happen. Can I go ahead and can I increase the tracking? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more than maybe before. And that lets the text flow a little bit. But what sometimes we really need behind this is a shape. And that's an example of a bad color choice. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this from black text to white text. And wow, that's just way easier to read, right? Now, I'd like to point out something in regards to the shape, though. If I zoom in here, and I come up to the top, okay, do you see how that L is literally touching the edge and it looks like it's like going off the text? Well, that's only happening there because we're center aligned. If we go ahead and we left align it, you might see more of that. And that's not successful, right? We call that a proximity problem. We talk about principles of design. That's just not successful. Look, the J in justo, that fake word right there, that is falling out of here. So what we usually do is this. When we go ahead, and it doesn't matter whether it's aligned center, left aligned, right aligned, it doesn't matter. But what we tend to do is I'll lock down that text layer and then I'll select the shape behind it. I'll hold down the Option key and the Shift key, and I'm just going to make it just a little bit bigger. And all I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to give this cushion, okay? We call it padding between the interior shape and then the exterior shape that it lives in. This is a huge thing if you ever get into web design. In fact, the idea that you're padding your text and the box in which it sits. So yeah, you want to do that for sure. So again, I'm just going to undo it. You select your shape. You go ahead, you hold down the Option key and Shift. That way it's going to grow into a perfect circle, and you hold your Option key, so then that way it doesn't grow from one corner, but it grows from the center. And I do that with all my shapes when I actually resize them. And how much do you go? Just a little bit. You're just going to eye it. I don't know. No more than the height of one of the capital, a capital letter that you have there. If I really want to play around now too, I can take my text layer, lock down my background again, take my text layer, I can move that down so I have equal kind of space on the bottom that I kind of did at the top. I shouldn't call it equal, but more space. That's what it looked like before. That's what it looks like now. Actually, I like it the original way first. Or I like it the original way better. So that's how I would keep it. But guys, that is what's known as the area type tool. Now, really quick, There are 3 more type tools here: the vertical type tool, the vertical area type tool, and the vertical type on a path tool. They're all the same. It's just they go vertical. That's all. So if you click vertical, it types vertical. That's all. I won't lie, I don't think that this is the most successful way to read type. It's not very legible, so I tend to not use it. But it's there, and it's the same rules in regards to the type on a path and the area type as well. So give those a try and see what you can make out of it. Thanks.